This is the case of grace and law, and we are going to put on the witness stand Paul, Jesus, Jeremiah, Isaiah, and a Christian minister. So let's go through this. Sharing the Messianic faith with Christians is more difficult for some than sharing Yeshua with Jews. The reason is because of a core misunderstanding of Paul and his mindset toward the law. There is a very simple solution that works in most cases where the believer is interested in finding truth. It only takes one verse in the Bible to clearly show Paul's mindset toward the law. Romans 3:31. Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law. And the NIV says, do we then nullify the law by this faith? Not at all. Rather, we uphold the law. The verse by itself is very powerful to dispel the incorrect perception of Paul's mindset. However, if properly used, it is only the first step in a systematic approach to show how valid the law of God is for us today. The prosecuting attorney has done his research and thinks that the law is done away with. He has presented many proofs that the law has no effect on us today. His primary witness in this case is the Apostle Paul. He knows that you cannot possibly be right, and the jury has followed his reasoning all the way through and believes that the prosecutor is correct. It is now your turn to cross-examine this important witness, and I will take place as the examining attorney. Hi, Paul. I know that is not the name your mother gave you. Will you please tell the court your given name? Shaul of Tarsus, Acts 9:11. That sounds Jewish. Are you a Jew? I am a Jew and a Pharisee. Philippians 3:5. Paul, the prosecutor has made you sound like you are against the law and that none of the followers of Jesus should obey the law. What do you say about that? We do not nullify the law through faith. On the contrary, we establish it. Romans 3:31. But the prosecutor says you never instructed the Gentiles to keep any of the laws of God as found in the Old Testament. Is this true? I told the Corinthians, let us therefore keep the feast of Passover, which is the command in the Tanakh, the Old Testament. 1 Corinthians 5:8. Did you ever go further and teach them Jewish oral law? Yes. 1 Corinthians 11:2. Traditions is the Greek word for paradosis, meaning Jewish oral law. I told the women to cover their heads when they pray or preach, which is an Orthodox Jewish practice not found in the Bible. 1 Corinthians 11:5. In fact, there are many references to the oral law throughout my writings. They are just not recognized as such by the modern Gentile leaders. The prosecutor would have us believe that you do not keep the law yourself. Do you keep the law? Yes, I even sacrificed in the temple and took the Nazirite vow with some men to serve in the temple for a time just to prove this. Acts 21:25 and 26. The prosecutor said that you told the Colossians that the law was nailed to the cross. Did you say that? No, what I said was the records and writings against us were nailed to the execution tree. These are the records of our transgressions against the laws of God that accuse us. These were made void by Yeshua's death. Colossians 2:13 and 14. Do you recall the witness of John that came a little before you? He said, sin is a transgression of the law, in 1 John 3:4. Do you agree with that statement? Yes. We should not continue in sin that grace can abound. Romans 6:1. If it wasn't for the law, I would not have known what sin is. Romans 7:7. Do you have any closing comments? Yes, let us not continue in sin that grace may abound. Romans 6:1-15. Once the chief witness for the prosecution has been shown to be on the side of the law, we can now build on that foundation and show how that there is no witnesses in agreement with the prosecution. Jesus takes the stand. Sir, can you please tell me your given name? Yeshua HaNazarene. Are you Jewish? Yes, the tribe of Judah, house of David. Matthew 1:1 and 17. I would like to remind the court that the definition of sin was clearly established by the witness of John, transgression of the law, as in, again, 1 John 3:4. Sir, did you ever, even once, break the laws of God? No. 1 Peter 2:22. Did you ever say that the laws of God would be done away with? Not one jot or one tittle of the law will cease as long as there is a heaven and an earth. Matthew 5:18. The prosecutor says that you are the end of the law, as in Romans 10:4. What do you say about that? I am not the end of the law, but I am the target that the law points us to. In other words, I am your example and witness that the law can be obeyed. He also said that you came to fulfill the law in Matthew 5:17. What does that mean? The law told of my coming fulfills that promise. No man before me could keep the law, but those who receive me receive the power to become sons of God and do the will of my Father. John 1:12 and 13. What do you think of those who teach that the laws are done away with? Depart from me, you lawless people, I never knew you. Matthew 7:23. Whoever breaks the least of the commandments and teaches others to do so will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 5:19. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather all things that offend, and those who are lawless, and cast them into the great fire. Matthew 13:41. Do you have any closing comments? I came that you might have life, and have it more abundantly. John 10:10. This cannot happen except my Father grant it, because I do not speak my own words, but I speak the words of my Father. John 14:10 and 23. We call as a witness Jeremiah. Sir, the modern church claims your words about the new covenant as the basis for their faith. They say the laws of God are done away with. Is this so? No, in the new covenant the laws will be written on our hearts. Jeremiah 31:31 through 34. The prosecutor would have us believe that the Jewish people as a nation would to be replaced by the church. Is this true? No, as long as there is a sun, moon, and ocean waves, there will be a nation of Israel. Jeremiah 31:35 and 36. But is it possible for the Gentiles to be saved without connecting with Israel? No, the new covenant is with the house of Israel, not with the Gentiles. Gentiles are welcome, but must join Israel to be part of the new covenant. Jeremiah 31:31. How is this possible? The Gentiles will come to Israel from all over and say that they have inherited lies from their fathers and will want to join with us. Jeremiah 16:19. My fellow prophet Zechariah said that there will come a time when that 10 men of the nations will grab hold of the tistit of a Jew and say, let us go with you, for we have heard that God is with you. Zechariah 8:23. We call Isaiah to the witness stand. Sir, the Gentiles thinks it is okay for them to follow the God of Abraham and not to keep the law. What do you say? The foreigners who sojourn with you, worshiping the God of Abraham, are to hold onto the covenant and keep the Sabbath, and their sacrifices on the altar will be accepted. Isaiah 56. Note verse 4. Are the Gentiles welcome in this covenant? The Gentiles will be drawn to the Messiah. Isaiah 11:10. What about the Jews? They will reject at first, Isaiah 53:1 through 3, but then a second outreach for them will produce a great harvest. Isaiah 11:11 and 12. We call as our last witness Mr. Christian Minister. Sir, you have made a claim that the laws of God have been somehow made irrelevant to those under the Messianic covenant. Is this true? Yes. Do you also teach that we are to follow the 10 Commandments? Yes. What about the fourth one? Well, I don't know them all that well. Which one is that? Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Oh, we keep the Sabbath holy every Sunday. By which day of the week is Sunday? The first day of the week. But the command is to keep the 7th day of the week holy. Well, that was changed by Christ. Where does it say that in your Bible? It doesn't say it directly. Jesus rose from the dead on Sunday, so it was changed to honor him. Who changed it? I think Paul changed it. But don't you know something so important as to change one of the big 10? Surely you can cite me a reference where it says something to that effect, that you are no longer to keep the Sabbath and to switch it from the first day of the week. I don't remember. What about the holy days? Do you teach observing them? We are not to be judged in keeping the holy days or Sabbaths. Colossians 2:16. But it doesn't say don't keep them. It says not to let anyone judge us in keeping them. Isn't that right? Well, now that you mention it, I guess you can interpret it that way. Sir, do you teach your people to tithe 10% of their income to the church? Yes. Is that one of the 10 Commandments? No. Where do you get this concept? From Malachi the prophet. But, sir, that is a Levitical law, as in Leviticus 27:30-34. Why are you teaching that in the church? No response. Where is it taught in the New Testament? No response. The judge interjects with a slamming down of the gavel. Answer the question. Sir, I just don't know what to say. It's what I was taught in seminary. No further questions, Your Honor. Now the jury is required to render a verdict. What's your verdict? Does the law apply to us today under the Messianic New Covenant or not? Your future depends on it.